Hello, my good people. Welcome to North America. My name's Kevin Bowers. I'm so glad you're here. Here at North America, our job is to put the floodlight on the political landscape so that the gaslight that is emanating from the media and punditry and politicians just gets smeared out by the glare of their hypocrisy. And some good person out in the world of the internet has been doing a nice job of doing this, and I wanted to add my amplifier switch to it. It's an ad for Bernie Sanders, and I don't think Bernie Sanders' campaign put it out, but it is getting a lot of attention, and it's a brilliant piece of debunkery. Essentially what they've done is they've placed just a litany of Bernie smears against video in which Bernie himself is doing the exact opposite of what they're smearing. I actually went through, I did my homework, my good people out there, and some of the smears is that he's too old and gruff, he doesn't smile, and of course you have a beautiful, beatific smile coming from Bernie as they're saying that. And that he's misogynist as hell, and he's not pro-woman, and some famously on, I don't know, CNN or MSNBC or something just said, that he creeps me out or something like that, against a picture of all sorts of women finding all sorts of wisdom in the man. His Medicare for All platform doesn't recognize the atrocities that socialism has committed around the world. Oh yeah, and I love this one. The same class that is attacking Bernie for the Bernie Bros and the misogyny say that the only reason that girls are going to his rallies is because they want to meet boys there, which is such a sexist, shallow, insane thing to suggest. But somehow insanity is not a filter that MSNBC or CNN filters out. Someone said that he's disparaging, and someone else said that he has not done anything since 2016 until today. And over that, I like this. They have some gentleman saying that he's thanking Bernie Sanders when he said that he has done nothing to help reset the political discourse and center politics around justice and equality. So anyways, a wonderful piece of rhetoric, a direct comparison, not allowing the enough space between the absurdity of corporate media lies and the truth to sort of squeeze in between the statement and its ridiculousness. And so anyways, people are seeing this and loving it. And I want to thank whoever edited that together for having good sense. He's North of America kind of people. But I want to celebrate that piece of media in a few ways, just to expand its reach and to recognize that in fact, this is absolutely common and deliberate, and I think without exception. So that's a challenge that I would put out to the world. Find an example of a progressive person or idea that actually has the power of some kind of momentum and has some kind of political potential to do something that hasn't been smeared and turned into sort of a ridiculous parody of by the media. And so I also made a little list for this. Geez, I've been busy up in here trying to do my best for my peeps down in North America. So just a quick list of utterly smeared and innocent people. Julian Assange, the Green New Deal as a concept, universal healthcare as a concept. They're going to take away your healthcare to give you universal healthcare. I love that one. Corbyn in the UK got to be the winner in this category. Bernie Sanders absorbs a fair bit of abuse, but one of the tactics, I think, for the American media with Bernie Sanders has been ignoring him, and they've done that as much as they dare. But in the UK, with Jeremy Corbyn, leader of the Labour Party, who is more progressive, and in similar ways to Bernie, has been in the political landscape forever and has been consistent in a way that is like unprecedented, on both sides of the Atlantic, I'd say. The two of them have sort of had the same message for 40 years. He has been hit by slanders by the British press. And I would like to point out The Guardian has been at the forefront of this fuckery. Many people sort of think, oh my goodness, the Guardian is such a bastion of liberal progressive ideas. And, I think people here in North of America often think, I wish we had a media like The Guardian. Well, when it comes to actually confronting someone who has the potential to actually dismantle the neoliberal economic order and foreign policy and transfer wealth from the many to the few, which is his thing, not for the few but the many, or some clever little thing like that Corbyn says all the time. If you have the chance of doing that, they will smear you. So, oh my goodness, ever since he gained some power, all of a sudden he became an anti-Semite, and he seems to be some kind of Jew hater, which has never come up in his 40 years of politics until he actually has the potential to win, and all of a sudden they figure that the best tactic is to call him an anti-Semite, which I'm afraid has had some success. But media, we see through you and your shenanigans. So anyways, this is a consistent and glaring and absurd strategy set out by the media. It's consistent in a way that I would love to see an exception. And if someone wants to post a comment about a person with some influence that you think challenges the status quo in significant ways, particularly in the modality of taking money from wealthy and giving it back to poor, I would love to see an example where they are not being smeared. But we'll leave that there. The other thing that I find fascinating about the mechanisms of this sort of narcissistic fuckery coming out of the media, where they just lie blatantly and make up these smears and just like smeared all over the progressive candidate. At the same time, they are putting on the veneer of progressiveness and liberalness and left-wingedness themselves. So this is a bizarre game that only a narcissist can play with any acumen, which is, as you disparage and make fun of and discredit the actual progressive in the room, at the same time you dress other people in progressive clothing and claim progressiveness yourself. And I think the excellent example of this going on right now in American politics is Elizabeth Warren, who some of the fuckery coming out of the media essentially is saying, why would anyone vote for Bernie Sanders when you could have Elizabeth Warren, who they say essentially shares the same political stripes as Bernie, but, and then the but's never quite clear, but she's younger, but she's a woman. That was one of the recent smears, was that how could you vote for Bernie when you have Elizabeth? And it just shows that you're sexist if you would be unwilling to go for Elizabeth Warren. So it's sort of an insidious, and I'm a bit afraid that it's a successful narcissistic gaslighting move by the media to paint Elizabeth Warren as a progressive with equal pedigree of Bernie Sanders. But it's also absurd. Some of the absurdities lie in the fact that she just voted with Donald Trump to increase military spending for the U.S. In fact, she voted for a bill that asked for more money than Donald Trump asked. And this is a president who we all seem to agree is a fascist, blowhard clown freak with his finger on the button, which is apocalyptic and terrifying, which I tend to agree with. But you voted to give him more military power. and Bernie didn't. So, okay, there's a difference. She is going to be taking money from billionaires and super PACs and all those peeps for the general election. She's not for the Democratic race, but she will for the general. So all of this notion, which has been central to the progressive campaign, which is to take money out of politics, she's going to throw out the window, which is why the DNC and all those people are happy to dress her in sheep's clothing, in the frocks of liberal leftist clothing. But they seem to be darn sure that she's going to play ball in their little neoliberal party. And I understand she's actually been sort of hanging a little bit with Hillary, which they're actively trying to hide, right? Because that would sort of ruin the charade a little bit, wouldn't it? So anyways, here in North America, this kind of deceit is reprehensible, and it is exposable. We just exposed it. And so did that great guy that made the Bernie Sanders viral video. And we need to keep doing that, people. Do remember this, propaganda works. These people at the DNC, these people at MSNBC, these PR agencies who are being paid a lot of money by very wealthy people to deceive you into thinking that they are actually on your side, are really good at their jobs. You know many, many people who think Elizabeth Warren is a great progressive candidate, and they are being lied to. And they are being lied to in ways that are very easy to expose. So that is our job. Please spread this far and wide and because we need to change the world fast. We need to put ourselves on a firmer foundation of truth and justice, and we can do it. Truth is a beautiful and powerful thing, and it does dispel gaslight quite effectively when you put the floodlights on, and it just sort of dissipates. It's sort of like when the illusion is exposed. There's nothing to fight anymore. Like, we'll be on, the right side of history. We'll be on the right side of helping save the planet and its beautiful people and its many, many species that are in dire need of our good hearts, our open minds, our goodwill, and our hard work and our creativity. And with those things in mind, we can change this planet. So, my friends, we have an absurd state of affairs, and with a little bit of help and a little bit of push, we can unabsurdify it and make reality the guiding principle, where we can actually shoot for justice and a clean, sustainable planet, and just, kindness and reason. Wouldn't that be sweet? Thank you so much for joining us in North America. Please subscribe. northofamerica.net is a place where you can see all these videos and you can see my writings. And Lord knows there's going to be little surprises there, because life is too short to play it straight. Thank you very much. See you on the internets.